Hello students and welcome to this video of ONS. In today's video we are going to study the WDM concept and components. So what is WDM? We have just discussed a little bit about WDM in previous video. Let us see in detail what is wavelength division multiplexing. So here you can see in this diagram that when we are using uh, a source LED or laser, we can have multiple regenerators for LED. See this diagram. We have LED as transmitter. We need multiple regenerators and a multimode fiber, and then the signal can be received at the receiver. If we use laser, we can use a single mode fiber. You can see significantly the number of repeaters are reduced and the signal can be received at the receiver. Also here laser is used, still we can reduce a number of repeaters. But in the evolution of technology, we can use multiple wavelengths and we can combine multiple signals over a fiber, single fiber, and then those different signals can be received by different receivers. How is it possible? It is possible by using the wavelength division multiplexing. That means for every different signal, we will use a different wavelength signal, and then we can combine that in a single fiber. As the wavelengths are different, they will not interfere with each other, and in that case we require optical amplifiers in between. At the receiver end, the wavelengths will be separated and given to respective receivers. In this way we can effectively and efficiently use the fiber link to send more than one signals. So why do we need WDM? Because capacity upgrade will be there. Then each optical channel can carry the transmission format. It can use different asynchronous bit rates, analog link or digital link. Then scalability. We can buy and install equipments for additional demand as needed. And wavelength routing and switching. Wavelength is used as another dimension to time and space. We are familiar with the concept of TDM and FDM, right? Time division multiplexing, where the different signals are sent at different time instants. Similarly, in frequency division multiplexing, we use different frequencies for carriers for multiplexing different signals. Similarly, here we are multiplexing different signals, and for that we are using multiple wavelengths. See, it is more clear in this diagram. Lambda 1 is having different wavelength, lambda 2 is having different wavelength, lambda n can be used as a different wavelength, and all of them can be multiplexed and sent on single fiber line. So each wavelength is like a separate channel. See in this diagram, passive and active devices are needed to combine, distribute, isolate and amplify optical power at different wavelengths. So these are the optical amplifiers. This is multiplexer, this is demultiplexer. So we need all those passive components for working of WDM. There are two evolutions in WDM technology. WDM technology uses multiple wavelengths to transmit information over a single fiber. One more type is there, coarse WDM or CWDM. It has wider channel spacing and at a lower cost. And one more type is there, dense WDM, which is DWDM. It has dense channel spacing, which allows simultaneous transmission of 16 plus wavelengths, and it has high capacity. So first WDM networks used just two wavelengths, 1310 nanometers and 1550 nanometers. Today we are using, you can see the huge number and more wavelengths in 1550 nanometer window. Each of these wavelengths provide an independent channel. Each may transmit 10 gigabits per second in digital or SCMA analog. The range includes 50, 100, 200 and 1000 gigahertz spacing. Wavelength spacing practically depends on laser bandwidth and optical filter bandwidth. So here you can see on y-axis there is attenuation, on x-axis there is wavelength. So we use the windows where attenuation is lower. This terahertz window where the attenuation is, we can say, minimum than other regions, and here also we have minimum attenuation. So this 15 terahertz window can be used for the WDM spectrum. This is example of WDM, how we can multiplex many signals. It is Nortel Optera 640 system. What are the limitations? Theoretically, large number of channels can be packed in a fiber, but for physical realization networks, we need precise wavelength selective device. Optical amplifiers are also imperative, means required to provide long transmission distances without repeaters. So let's see what are the WDM components. Passive components include wavelength selective splitters and wavelength selective couplers. Obviously, if we are using different wavelengths for combining many signals over a single channel or single optical fiber, we will require the different frequency selective splitters and couplers so that we can separate out the signals which we have multiplexed. And active optical components, we have tunable optical filter, tunable source, optical amplifier, and add drop multiplexer and demultiplexer. Photodetector responsivity should be high over the given spectrum. Hence, narrow optical filters needed to separate channels before detection in this system. Passive devices, these operate completely in the optical domain, does not need electrical power. That means they will not convert optical signal into electrical and electrical into optical, but they will work in optical domain only. They will split or combine light stream. For example, couplers, splitters, power taps and star couplers are there. Technologies, fiber based on optical waveguides based and micro or nano optics based. Then fabricated using optical fiber or waveguide. So this is the filter which is frequency selective, wavelength selective. This is multiplexer which will combine all these signals and they will be multiplexed and sent on a given single optical fiber. And router will route the signal or send the desired signal on the desired channel. Star coupler can be wavelength selective or non-selective, and we can have n equal to m equal to 64, so that means we can combine or couple 64 signals here. This we have already completed in previous video. It is fused coupler. Fabricated by twisting together, melting and pulling together two single mode fibers. These are the ratios of different losses: splitting loss or excess loss, insertion loss and crosstalk. Those are not asked in the paper. Just for your information, I have included it. Wavelength selective devices. These perform their operation on the incoming optical signal as a function of the wavelength. That means they can select the desired wavelength signal only and can reject all the other wavelength signals. This is again example of a fused fiber star coupler. It is 8 by 8 bidirectional star coupler by cascading 3 stages of 3 dB couplers. So here you can see we have cascaded three stages of couplers. Also, we have phase array based WDM devices. The arrayed waveguide is a generalization of 2x2 multiplexer. The lengths of adjacent waveguides differ by a constant delta L, and different wavelengths get multiplexed or demultiplexed. For wavelength routing applications, multi-input, multi-output routers are available. So here you can see in this diagram, on the single fiber we have received multiple wavelengths. This lens will give the dispersion. That means the wavelengths will be separated. Again we have a prism which will again separate the different wavelengths, and also this lens will help to separate each constituent wavelength, and that will be given to its corresponding filter and fiber detectors. Source impinges on a diffraction grating. Each wavelength is diffracted at a different angle. Using a lens, these wavelengths can be focused onto individual fibers and less channel isolation between closely spaced wavelengths. So using diffraction, all the wavelengths are separated out and given to respective detectors and fibers. So generating multiple wavelengths for WDM networks, discrete lasers are used, then wavelength tunable lasers are used, multi-wavelength laser arrays are used, and spectral slicing. All these details are not included in our syllabus, so I have not included, or I have not gone into detail of these DFB lasers. We will not see the construction and working, just the concept we will see here. We have terminal multiplexers, then frequency tunable lasers. Only one laser that has grating filter in the lasing cavity. That means it can be tuned to desired wavelength. Wavelength is tuned by either changing the temperature of the grating or by altering the injection current into the passive section, so that it will generate the multiple wavelengths at a desired tuned wavelength. The tuning range decreases with the optical output power. So we can change either the temperature or the injection current, and we can generate the desired tuned wavelength. Tunable filters are made by at least one branch of an interferometric filter. So this is the main concept. We can skip the explanation. It will be not asked in the paper. Just know the concept that we have optical input frequencies. The tuning control, electrical or thermal, is with us. So we can change the tuning of this filter and the desired wavelength will be selected. So WDM plays an important role in high capacity optical networks. Theoretically, enormous capacity is possible, but practically, wavelength selective components and non-linear effects limit the actual performance. Passive signal processing elements are attractive, and optical amplification is imperative to realize the WDM networks. So we will stop here. In next video, we will see the optical amplifiers. Thank you for watching.